Only this meeting that we have, we start going, and we are doing something. So put your input either in writing, in anything, or you can keep your name and put it there. So you have to get something that you are going to reduce, even 5%. Even 5%, every sector, transport, water, anywhere. Please encourage us doing this, please. Thank you.
Making sure that the summit is not just worth a while, but will make much progress. Thank you.
Industry as well as water, and all the action plans that are listed there, they are in order. They are there for the reduction of greenhouse gas emission, and all those ones, they are based on assessments that were made for the country. So most of those, like in the transport sector, we have mitigation action that states that there should be a shift to mass transit. There should also be upgrading of roads, as well as increased use of compressed natural gas. And for water resources, we are also promoting the integrated water resource management. And for waste, we are promoting circular economy. We are moving away from linear economy in terms of waste management to circular economy. We also have for the oil and gas, where we are, promoting the improvement in the flaring of gas. We are also talking about the development of gas-to-plant powers at gas flare sites, as well as the utilization of biofuels. In the agri sector, the mitigation actions that we have there is we are promoting climate-smart agriculture, as well as promoting nature-based solutions, and we're also encouraging what we call reduction of emission through deforestation and desertification. And in the energy sector, the mitigation actions there are the use of renewable energy, as well as energy efficiency, and the use of natural gas rather than liquid fossil fuel. So if you take a look at the NDC, the reverse NDC, all these mitigation actions are listed there. And we also have at the federal level, the Interministerial Committee on Climate Change, that they always meet when it comes to issues of climate change, because there are other MDAs that are doing, carrying out actions that are climate related. So we come together and brainstorm on issues that also help us in mitigating the impact of climate change. And this Interministerial Committee on Climate Change, they meet regularly. They are going to have a meeting also towards COP27, which is coming up in Egypt, and they have met earlier on in the year, and they are going to meet again very soon. So those are some of the things that Climate Change Department of the Federal Ministry of Environment, just like our officer from the Nigerian Navy has said, Department of Climate Change is the focal point, is the national focal point. So, and they are responsible for implementing all climate change action, all climate change convention and treaty, both internationally and locally. So whatever is being done here, you are doing the work of the Climate Change Department of the Federal Ministry of Environment. So there should be more collaboration between the National Committee, the Senate Committee on Ecology, and
Climate change is a department in MISO.
Permit for design and modification of these facilities, and we have provision of discharge of water from all the facilities, whether it's refinery, LPG, CNG, and GCMP plants. And the other one is a matter of control. We have emission monitoring control in place, and where these facilities and operations are going on, we have ambient air quality monitoring. We have gaseous point source emission monitoring, which is from the area registered operations, and also venting and gas flaring monitoring and greenhouse gas management. These are a few of the initiatives and strategies we are putting in place and making sure that all the operators within the midstream and gas stream regulatory authority are abiding with. Thank you.
Sir, is there anything you would like with the summit coming up? Are there things?
And I think one of the key challenges is making sure that the operators work hand in hand with the regulators. All the facilities, all the operations. I talked about point source emission, and they need to be registered. You have to be registered. We have the Petroleum Industry Act, thanks to the Senate for making that happen. And most of this regulation, all this regulation are actually provisions of this act. Thank you.
Transportation. How do we have greener transportation? How do we leverage more on public transportation, whereby we do reliance on personal vehicles and plugging up the streets? How do we diversify the energy mix, going from gas-fired power plants to solar power, and probably increasing on the capacity of our dams and so on and so forth? So we need to begin to reduce it from that point. We need to build more dams, which is a greener solution. We need new skills to produce solar panels so that we can reduce consumption of electricity from gas-fired plants. So these are some of the places where we can look at it. And for the oil and gas industry, we need to look at the Associated Gas Injection Act. How are they complying with it? So we need to visit them and see how they are complying with the act. Then I also want to suggest that we have short-term strategies, long-term, medium-term. In the short term, how do we take carbon dioxide, which is the major pollutant, out of the atmosphere? We can plant more trees. The army is already planting trees. The Navy is planting trees. The Air Force are planting trees. We plant trees. So we can plant more trees and have green areas, so that these trees can sequester carbon dioxide. And that will be on the medium term and on the short term. On the long term, we now look for greener solutions in terms of energy consumption. Thank you, sir.
And can you with what they are doing to the fall?
Yes, apart from planting trees, shoreline protection. And again, in areas down south, we see the effect of acid rain coming from sulfur dioxide dissolved in rainfall and NOx gases. So how do we mitigate against the effect of acid rain? Because people are drinking from groundwater, and the acid rain gets into groundwater. And in the near future, we begin to see the effect, because this poses carcinogenic risks. So we have to look at all this and find a way forward. Thank you, sir.
So one second, before we take the next.
The Ministry of Environment, riding on all the other stakeholder agencies, their contribution. The common paper or the common position for what the Senate is supposed to present in that summit should be coming from the Ministry of Environment. Because I believe, I don't want to sit down here and say no, because the issue of climate change did not start today. Climate change has been an ongoing theme, and I believe there have been so many fora where it's been discussed. Ministry of Environment have a position paper for the country where it encapsulates the national strategy, just like my colleague said, reeling out short, medium, and long-term strategies. Because that strategy is supposed to capture everything the ONG and other stakeholders are doing. That is at the strategic realm. That's where we should be talking now. Because breaking it to the tactical level, operational level, we will not get anywhere. I believe we should elicit the input from the Ministry of Environment to give us the national position paper, which I believe will couch or come with a strategy for gas reduction. Thank you, sir.
On that note, we have the Ministry of Environment.
Just highlight a few of them, so that at the end of this presentation, I will present this as our position from the National Park Service. Protected and conserved areas form a global family and have a unique and powerful place in our landscapes, seascapes, and society, like we are saying about the Niger Delta and the mangrove. They are amongst the 10 new national parks, 2 are marine in Bayelsa State. We have the Apoi and the Edumen Forest Reserve that have now been upgraded to the status of national parks. 2, these global and local aspects of our protected areas play transformative role in addressing the dual crisis of climate change and biodiversity loss. So our family of protected and conserved areas are the foundation of 30-30. The 30 we are talking about, the foundation is in the national parks. Because if these trees are not conserved, carbon sequestration might not be possible. Then in investment, Nigeria should also be thinking about carbon market. How do we market the carbon we have? This is another way we can diversify our economy. Then the national park can support the development of sustainable landscape and seascapes in the following way. The UN decade restoration. That is all we require in the national park. We don't plant new plants. All we do allow an area to degenerate naturally by protecting and monitoring it. That is what we do. Within a period of 2-5 years, depending on the lifespan of the species, there will be regeneration and carbon sequestration will take place. Through this effort too, the NDC, as promised by Mr. President, can be reduced. While he was in Paris, he promised that Nigeria is going to reduce our carbon flaring, and based on that, the NDC is going to be increased. So you cannot do this when you don't plant more plants. So my appeal to the oil companies and other stakeholders here is to invest. I commend the Chevron or which company? Nigeria LNG. So I commend you for acquiring at least 1,000 areas of land, you said? Hectares. For planting. If other other organizations can do same. Whatever discussion that will be held here, I think the Federal Ministry of Environment already has a document. In 2012, the Federal Executive Council approved the Climate Response Policy and Strategy. Am I right?
Yes.
So this is what I think we need, based in line with what the Rear Admiral said, so that will be our launching pad. Having said that, I want to talk on our position as a national park. As a national park, we are concerned about protected and conserved areas. And as people that are in charge of protected and conserved areas, we are the carbon sinking house, because 60% of the carbon is held by the soil and the biomass.